All right. So, Carrie, I'm going to go ahead and get started and welcome everyone, and people can just come on in. So, hopefully, you can all see my screen. And welcome to how to write a winning business plan specifically. Hi everyone. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Daniela Stepik, and I'm an economic development specialist with the Placer Business Resource Center. And welcome to our webinar for today on June 25th. So, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of our agenda today. Let's see if it's going to click. First of all, I'll be providing a brief overview of the Placer Business Resource Center and the services we offer. Then I'll turn it over to Carrie with the Small Business Administration to guide us through the process of writing a business plan. We'll then wrap up with a Q&A for anyone that has any questions. But before we dive deep into hearing about the business plan, I wanted to provide a brief introduction to the BRC, and as we're a great first point of contact for anyone conducting business in Placer County, and we want to paint a picture of the role that we play so that you can walk away today with a better idea of what Placer County offers to support our business community. So just a little bit about us. We are the Placer Business Resource Center, or BRC, and we are a program run out of the Placer County Office of Economic Development. We are here to support small businesses and to get them connected with the resources they need to succeed. We offer a range of services, all of which are free, to include webinars like this, one-on-one advising to address your unique needs, hiring assistance through our Business Advantage Network division, as well as navigating the world of licensing and permitting. And we'll learn a little bit today in terms of business plans. So we are currently available for virtual appointments on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, as well as available for walk-ins at our Rockland office on Wednesdays, and we are closed on Fridays. So we're open today if you want to drop by from 9 to 4, and we're located really close to William Jessup University. I will be hopping away just for lunch for about an hour, but feel free to come afterwards. But we're at 1000 Sunset Boulevard in Suite 105. So now I want to run through really quickly a list of our resources that we do have, and you'll see in the next couple slides that I have them categorized. However, this is not a comprehensive list of all the resources that we do have, so it's really going to depend on what type of business you have, what questions you have, and then where you are in the process too. So please don't think of this as like these are the only ones, but reach out if you have more niche questions or anything like that. So for first, we have our business assistants. So we have a ton of small business development centers all over the place. The one that we work with a lot is the Sierra Small Business Development Center. So that's one of the first points of contacts that we give to people when they're starting a business. While we can give you the initial resources, SBDCs can go further into the process for you, asking like if you need help with marketing or finding funding or anything like that, or like you don't know what a business formation is and like which one it is. They can kind of give you an overview of an LLC or a sole proprietorship and things like that. We also have chambers of commerce. We have one for each city and the town of Loomis as well. And they're great. It's made up of, the business community. They have great events and are great networking opportunities through those events, and being on like their mailing lists and everything. So I highly recommend if you're interested to join a Chambers of Commerce, and to see what's out there and meet other folks who have a business. We also have the Service Corps of Retired Executives SCORE. Similar to SBDCs, they also provide, webinars and trainings. They even do, and I did mention this for SBDC, one-on-one advising for free as well. So if you're looking for multiple people to talk to, they're another great resource. And then Carrie is from the SBA, so I'll let her talk a little bit more about herself, but another great resource too. For trainings and workshops, you can talk to us about the Placer Business Resource Center, about what you want to hear, or if there's any that you might not see on our calendars, but we might know of for other organizations. SBDCs, SCORE, and then SBA has a learning center as well, that can give you some information on how to start a business. So next is on to licensing and permitting. So for business licenses, you'll go either through the Treasurer Tax Collector's office if you're operating in unincorporated Placer County. And if you're not sure, you can reach out to us and we can point you in which way you should go if you go through the Treasurer Tax Collectors, or you might have to work with the cities if you're within city limits. We also did a webinar not too long ago on business licenses, so you can check that out on our website. We also did a webinar on fictitious business names, so you do that through the clerk recorder's office. And then permits, there's the CalGold permit tool, which gives you an idea of what permits you might need. So you'll put in like your business type and then where you're located. And I always recommend working with local agencies as they're going to be the ones to have the best information too and answer any additional questions. And if you're a food business, you'll actually work with environmental health too. They run the food protection program, so they do inspections and things like that. So if you're a mobile food facility or some type of food vendor, you'll talk to environmental health. And then a general one is the NorCal Entrepreneur Club. You can see the resource online, so you can just access that, and it has some great things on there that you can learn from too. An entrepreneur development group, which is led by the Roseville Area Chamber. I went to it sometime last year. And it was a very like intimate group, maybe like 15 or so people, just talking about the different issues and concerns that they have. And they're just brainstorming ideas and sharing all of that. So it's a great way to network and then also get, your questions answered or ideas from others. And then we have the Growth Factory and Roseville Venture Lab. All of these are really great entrepreneur focus opportunities. And so if you have any questions about that, I can send the links to you as well or connect you with folks. Okay. So for funding, I mentioned SBDC can help find funding. They have the Finance Center, which they have advisors, and they have the online Fundico tool, which is an inventory of government grants and loans that you can access for free online, and it only takes a couple minutes to sign up. The California Office of Small Business Advocate also has like a grants page. Last time I checked, they didn't have any active grants, but you never know what's going to come up. So feel free to check that out every once in a while. Then the SBA has some loans, guarantee loans. And so if we don't get a lot of folks looking into loans when they're starting out, but there's the California Small Business Loan Match tool too as well that can provide an opportunity if you're looking to go that route. And then hiring and workforce, we have our Business Advantage Network, as I mentioned, and then the Golden Sierra Job Training Agency. They have some scholarships and hiring incentives and other things like that, connecting both job seekers and employers as well. Okay, so that was just a really quick overview there. And then we have some upcoming webinars. Well, there's one today, how to write a business plan, but on July 9th, we'll have the QuickBooks and Accounting with Service Corps retired executives, and then Limited Liabilities Company on July 30th with staff from the Secretary of State office. And then you can also stay connected with us using that phone number or email. Our social media is Placer for Business on LinkedIn. That's really geared towards small businesses, whereas our Facebook and Instagram is kind of everything that's going on. We're sharing it. We're sharing a lot of the stuff that we put on our LinkedIn is also going to be on our Facebook and Instagram if you prefer that method. And then if you want to scan the keywords below, so we'll have a short survey for if you want to give webinar feedback. So, you might have a million questions and you want to see a webinar, or you can also just set up an appointment with us. But if you want to give us feedback on what kind of webinars you like, whether it's virtual, certain time of day, certain days of the week, you can feel free to share that with us. And then we also have a newsletter as well. It's both through the Economic Development Office and the Placer Business Resource Center. You get the latest and greatest on economic development news, whether it's grants or loans or all those kinds of things and events that are happening here in the area. So I just want to share that too with you all. And now we'll go to Carrie Ellenwood with SBA. So I'm going to read a quick bio from her. So Carrie Ellenwood, Deputy District Director, has been with the agency since 2007. She started as a lender relations specialist and then became a lead lender relations specialist and was promoted to Deputy District Director in 2020. Prior to joining the U.S. Small Business Administration, Carrie Ellenwood worked for over 15 years in the financial services industry. In addition, she worked for a Fortune 100 corporation as a strategic planner, program manager, and a financial analyst. In 2003, she started a consulting business and worked several years as a marketing consultant for small businesses. Carrie holds a BA in marketing from National University in Sacramento, California. The Sacramento district serves 21 counties in northeastern California, which cover thousands of acres and over 200,000 small businesses. In fiscal year 2024, the district supported 896 small businesses with over 519 million in guaranteed loans, which helped create over 8,000 jobs. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Carrie, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Let's get this started here. Oh, my sharing's not turned on.
Oh, yeah. I just clicked allow, so it should let you go now.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy, or good afternoon now, gosh. So happy to be here with you today. As Daniela mentioned, we do serve the 21 northeastern interior counties of California, and we support them with outreach events and informational webinars like this one we're doing today with Placer County. I want to get started on this business plan, and you're looking at this slide probably wondering, what the heck is she talking about strong business credit for? Well, it's very important before you start your business and you're planning that you make sure that your personal finances are in order, that you have money and plans on how you're going to run this business and fund it, and make sure your business is visible. And by that, I mean you want to make sure that you get an EIN number for your business. You want to register your license and all those things that Daniela mentioned that you need to do. We're a federal agency, so we don't assist with those things, but Daniela has given you a good where to start with that. And one of the main things about your personal finances that are going to affect your ability in your business is you want to keep your finances separate personally from your business. So you want to open a business account, you want to start establishing business credit, and you want to monitor those things regularly just to make sure that the accurate information is on both of those reports. I say this because most times small businesses start out very small as a sole proprietor, and they start commingling funds. And then when they get to the growth point of needing funding, their finances are not clear to the lender what's personal and what you've done with your business. So please do keep those things in mind as you are developing your business plan. You want to think of it as your roadmap. Where do I want to go with my business? And you want to think of it as a living document. Your business plan is going to share your executive summary, kind of paragraph, who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, all that information. Talk about who your managers are, include their bios so that they can share their experience with the lender or anyone who's looking at your business as an investor. One of the key parts that a lot of small businesses don't spend enough time on before they start writing their plan is their market analysis. The businesses in your area that are similar, you want to kind of research them a little bit, see how they're doing. We have at census.gov, census.gov, a wealth of information where you can find out your industry, what's your NAICS code, how are sales going in California. You can look in Placer County's bio and it'll give you an idea of what businesses are located there already and what's going on economically in the county. You also, once you have that analysis of what your opportunity is, you want to decide, what's my marketing strategy? How am I going to market my business? I'm going to do social media. I'm going to develop a web page. I'm going to have maybe some online tools that people can use if it's related to that kind of activity in your industry. And then last, we have here your financial information. So I think it's great that Placer County has these classes for you on QuickBooks, because that's a very easy tool that you can use to understand your business. When you plan your business, you're going to want to be able to record your income, record your expenses, make sure you pay your taxes on time, set aside special accounts for those. So those are the types of things that you will want to be aware of before you even start your business. There's a saying in business, cash is king. Very true. That's why I'm focusing on that a little bit more today than you might expect with a business plan presentation, but I will get to that part as well. So quickly, we have SBA loan programs that support small businesses. Our 7A guaranteed plan is where you work directly with a bank or credit union. Pretty much all of them in the Sacramento area are part of our program, and you can have a loan with any lender that you choose. They're going to qualify you. They're going to go through your application. They're going to look at your personal credit for sure. You're going to need to guarantee that business loan as a guarantor. You can qualify for up to $5 million in the 7A guaranteed loan program. Lenders are going to want you to have at minimum a 10% cash injection. They're not going to finance you 100%. And these loans can go up to 20 years. If you already are in business and you're here trying to figure out how to grow my business with a little more planning, there is a 504 loan program that is offered to businesses that have been in business a couple years. They want to expand their business and purchase real estate. These loans can go up to 25 years. They have some detailed conditions, and I'll show you our website and share a little more of that with you as we go further. If you're a micro business and you just need a little bit, not a lot, we have microloans that are offered through our intermediary non-depository lenders. They don't accept cash for deposits, but they do make loans, and SBA supports them in that endeavor. The locally based SBA microlender is called Opening Doors. They're down in Sacramento. We also have California Capital, which offers microloans and other guaranteed loans as well. And then the Community Advantage is a subset of that 7A loan that goes up to $350,000. Some of the benefits of the SBA loans for you is the terms are longer than a traditional business loan. And you also have a wider credit box because of the guarantee. And you can fund any of the fees that are SBA fees related to those loans. We have webinars every couple of weeks that talk more about these programs in detail. So if you're interested in that, you can go to our SBA.gov website, go to our district office link, and you'll find our calendar there. So on our SBA website, we have sample business plans. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and then I'm going to share my other screen, which is our website. Okay, now we're up. This needs to be down here. So on our SBA website, we have a business guide that has lots of tools there for you. Has ideas on launching your business, deciding what kind of business you want to have, managing your business, growing your business. But the part that you're going to be interested in is choosing your business plan. So there are a couple of different ways you can go about your business planning. Excuse me. There are traditional business plans that have the traditional overview information. And then there are also business plans that are a little briefer. So if you have a very simple, not complex business, you may want to look at one of the briefer plans. So traditional plans are going to look like this. They're going to have paragraphs. They're going to have diagrams. And then we have a lean startup plan that's a little more a quick overview for people. Your business plan doesn't have to be a 30-page dissertation. The shorter, the better. But you do want to make sure that you have financial projections in there if you're a startup, cash flow information if you're an existing business. You also want to make sure you cover all these tabs right here. So you will have a executive summary, a description, light description of what your company does, that market analysis I mentioned that's so important. You're going to have some information on how you're organized, your legal structure. As Daniela mentioned, our resource partners at the Small Business Development Center and SCORE are available to you at no cost. So please don't pay someone to write your business plan. You'll get a lot more out of it if you write it yourself and have one of our advisors help you at no cost. They want to have information on what product or service line you're offering, how you're going to market your business. We talked a bit about that earlier. And then your funding request. When you're looking for a commercial loan to fund a business, it's a little bit different than if you're looking for a mortgage loan or a credit card. You don't go to them and say, I'd like to get a mortgage. What do I qualify for? What you want to go to the commercial lender with is a specific request that outlines what you're going to use the funds for. So, for example, let's say you're a startup business and you've set aside $10,000 and you think you're going to need $100,000 to get started. You're at the bottom line of that cash injection we mentioned, but with the SBA guaranteed 7A loan, the lender is willing to consider that. They may want a little more than that, depending on what business industry you're in. But again, this is all kind of a case-by-case basis. Once you go into that lender, you're going to want to have that good business plan, your cash flow projections, and show how you're going to use that $100,000 to start your business. What are you going to buy? Equipment, inventory? You're going to have some cash available to pay your people. Just how are you going to manage those funds they're giving you in that business loan? And then they will make a decision on whether or not, based on your personal credit, your plan, your cash flow projections, if that loan's going to help you build that business that you want to build. Because one thing about business planning is it fluctuates, it changes. You always want to touch back to that business plan and see, am I on track? Am I a little behind? Do I need to modify something here? Those are the kinds of questions you want to continually ask yourself as you're managing your small business. Again, an appendix might be where you show your resume. You might have some additional financial information and have all that ready for the lender. So here is an example of Rebecca's traditional plan. It's called We Can Do It Consulting. And you have a cover sheet there, little executive summary, some description, your mission statement, legal structure that you're going to select, any market research that you've done, what industry you're in. As you can see, it's not too long here, but it does cover everything that a lender is going to want to know about your business. You're also going to want to include those cash flow projections and your use of proceeds for that loan. Now, if you want to have a loan that is that shorter model, maybe you're going to have maybe a business cart. Maybe you're going to just do a food cart. So you're probably not going to need so many different pieces to it. So here is the example of a lean business plan. All right, so this is basically very high level, very little information here, just kind of a common plan would have who you are, what you're doing, what the problem is you're trying to solve, or the market that you see available to you, who you're going to target as people that would want to purchase this. This example is about toys. And then you're going to talk a little bit about what expenses you have and who your team members are, what their roles are, and then some projections as to when and where you've made a milestone that makes you feel that you are successful in meeting that business objective. So that is what I have to talk with you about on the business plan. Daniela will give you the slides that we shared today, but I also want to let you know that there's more than just business planning on the SBA website. We're the smallest federal agency out there, and we help small businesses. We have lots of resources for you in terms of how to fund your small business. I mentioned our 7A and 504 and microloans. We as well have a tool called Lender Match that can help you find the right lender. And you just click on that and answer a few questions, describe what you're doing, and you'll find out how to get matched with a lender. It's not a guaranteed match, but it is an opportunity for you to reach out to lenders and reach a lot of them at one time. There's over 800 lenders on that platform. As you're growing your business, you may want to consider federal contracting. We have support for you if you're a small business. There's certain set-asides that also offer you an opportunity to do business with the federal government while you are just competing against other like small businesses. All this information on our website, more than I can tell you in this short webinar, but certainly encourage you to take a look and look into some of the resources that we have. As Danielle mentioned, we have our small business development centers, the SCORE organization, our Veterans Business Outreach Center, Women's Business Center. All of these are offered to you at no cost. As you know, this current administration is focused on improving manufacturing here in the United States. So we do have information available for you on that as well. Our initiative, again, being the manufacturing, and we have some different success stories and tools here for you. So Daniela, that concludes my presentation. I have left a few minutes here for conversation with people and hope that we get some questions.
So if any of you guys have any questions, and thank you, Carrie, for a wonderful presentation and walking us through your website. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat, use the Q&A feature, or even if you're not feeling shy, you can raise your hand as well. I'm looking at everything. But while you guys are, thinking about things, I actually had two questions for you, Carrie. First is, for the business plan, should it be revised from like lender to lender or, loan versus grant, similar to, how a resume changes depending on who you talk to? And then second question is, what are like the common mistakes that people usually have when they do a business plan or like they, their first draft, let's say?
That's a good question, both of those, Danielle. So you can revise your business plan depending on who your audience is. So if you are going to equity funders, they may want a different perspective. They may be more concerned about, the continuation and your management strengths and skills and how you're going to work through that if you have investors that may or may not want to participate in your small business. So yes, you want to think about who your audience is. And again, I encourage you to use a resource partner to help you do that because they're available to you at no cost. And I always like to call them our prepaid tax dollars at work. And then the common mistakes I think that people make in their business plans, some of the most frequent ones I see is they just are too long. And sometimes people think, oh, the more detail I go into, the better. I think it's good if you give enough information so they understand your business. I encourage you to have other people rather than just yourself review that, either a professional at one of our resource partners or a friend, your partner, somebody else take a look at it, because sometimes you may leave out an important fact that the first thing they'll say to you is, well, what about this or what about that? The other thing that's a good thing to do as you strategize meeting with a lender is have a 2-minute story about what your business is real quickly. I'm here, Carrie Ellenwood, and I'm going to start a business on how to make widgets. And I want to do that because I found in my market analysis that there's a big demand for it. Things like that can help you present yourself to the lender professionally. And one thing, please, 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 I brought that up about not commingling your personal cash and your business cash as you get started. It makes it very hard for the lenders to determine if you're actually profitable or not. And so in that business plan, you want to show, I have all my businesses, finances outlined cleanly and well put together. That way that lender will see that you have put a lot of thought into your plan.
Right. And then just more of a clarifying question. So once someone has this really great business idea, is it natural to just, okay, let me put a business plan together first, or is there another avenue first before getting to that business plan?
I think if you have a really great idea and it's new and innovative, and we do see a lot of those here in California, is do some market research. I mean, that is probably an area that doesn't get enough attention. And as I mentioned, census.gov has good general industry information in it, as well as the state of California GoBiz has some great information on broken down by county. So you'll learn what industries are large in which county and what are their primary industries in all the counties across California, wherever you're located.
Perfect. Thank you. So, does anyone else have any questions out there? I haven't seen any come through the chat Q&A or raised hands. So I'll just give it another minute here. Okay. And then, like Carrie said, I'll send out the slides later to you all today. This was recorded, so we'll be posting that online so you can take a look back at this whenever you want to. And then, Carrie, if you don't mind, like if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to send them to you if that's okay.
Of course, yes.
Perfect.
If they're feeling a little shy today, you can send them to me. I'm going to go ahead and put my email here in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you.
And you can all just email me directly. I try to get back to you within a few days. We are a little short-staffed right now, so please bear with me if I don't get right back to you the same day, but I'll do my best to reach out, answer your questions.
Perfect. Okay, so I haven't seen any questions come in, so I will close the webinar. Thank you again, Carrie, and all the attendees for coming today, and feel free to send us any questions that you have. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.